Okay, this question here, we're going to express the square root of 80 in the form a root 5, where a is an integer. First thing we need to do, we need to work out, if you're not, well, the key thing to this is to look for square numbers which are in 80. If you can't see the square numbers easily, then the key thing to do is to use prime factorization to find them for you. So I'm just going to start off by writing 80 up here and start looking for factors, so 2 and 40. 2 and 20, 2 and 10, and 2 and 5. So we can see that the square root of 80 can be written as the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So all these numbers under here should be represented by the ends of the branches. This 80 means 2 times 40, and this 40 is 2 times 20, and this 20 is 2 times 10, and this 10 is 2 times 5, so therefore 80 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, and that's what I've got here. Now, everywhere you have a pair of numbers, you have a square. 2 times 2 is 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 2 squared. So if you square root that square, you will get just the number you started off with. So you've effectively got 2 squared square rooted here, and you've got times by 2 squared square rooted here, and then we've got this 5 left over. So we've still got to square root that and times by that. Now obviously these are inverses. 2 squared is 4, square root of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, 4 square root is 2. So you effectively have 2 times 2 equals the square root of 5. So this is equal to 4 root 5. Now the other way to spot this is to realise that 80 is equal to 16 times by 5. 16 is a square number. Square root of 16 gives you 4. And you can, if you're quick, that's the way you can do it. Right, let's move on to part B. That was part A. So let's look at part B. So we're going to expand 4 minus root 5 all squared. Now if you're not great at expanded squared numbers, squares, write out the double bracket first of all, not what I was just about to do. 4 minus root 5 times by 4 minus root 5. I'm just going to erase this bit here, I don't need this bit. And then write out your FOIL. And what does FOIL mean? Some of you might not have come across this before. F stands for first, O stands for outer, and I stands for inner, and this stands for last. So first we're going to multiply out the first two things. So the first two things are the 4 and the 4. So let's multiply those out. So you get 16. Then we'll do the outer two things. Now this is going to become tricky. I'll use a bit of red underlining. The outer two things are the 4 and the minus root 5. So that will give us minus 4 root 5. Then we'll do the inner two things. Let's give myself another colour. Inner two things. Here we go. Those are the inner two things. So if I just remind you with some colour what each thing was. There we go. So highlighted with blue for the first, underlined with red for the outer, underlined with green for the inner. The inner two things, again, I get minus 4 root 5. And then I'm going to do the last two things. I think I'll use another highlighter. So I'm going to highlight them in green. So the last two things are these two things. So I'm going to multiply those out next, and I get minus root 5 times minus root 5, which gives me plus, because minus times minus plus. Root 5 times root 5 is just 5. So let's just simplify this. So 5 plus 16 is 21. Minus 4 lots of root 5 minus another 4 lots of root 5 gives me minus 8 lots of root 5 to get my final answer. So let's just recap. Root 80, find the prime factors of 80. Where you have pairs, you have squares, which can be square rooted to get you the number. There's another pair, square, square rooted. And then you leave anything else. Sorry, there's a mistake there, isn't there? Just rub that out, that equal sign. That should be a times sign in there. Alright, so 2 times 2 times root 5 should go in there. And therefore you get 4 root 5. In this one, always write out your brackets if you're not good at remembering this. And if you're not good at making sure you get all the things multiplied out, remember FOIL, first, outer, inner, last. First two things, the blue two things, outer, underline red two things, inner, underline green two things, and last, the green highlighted. Write them all out in longhand, then combine to get your final answer.